So this is part 3 of demystifying pre-sales, where we will talk about demystifying RFX, request for proposals, code, information and solution. The topic I have already covered is the same. Moving on, let's discuss on agenda for today. So the agenda would be, first we will try to understand the RFX, what comes under RFX. Then we'll have a walkthrough of the sample RFI document, and then we'll have a walkthrough of a sample RFP document. So basically this session will focus on the real-time real world document and understanding what goes in there rather than understanding the theoretical concepts. So video 1 and video 2, what I have already done is focused on the concepts, theoretical concepts that I wanted to cover. Now from here onwards, from video 3 onwards, we will see more of a practical or real world artifacts rather than the theoretical items. Okay, so let us understand RFX. So RFX is an acronym where X denotes either P or I or Q or S. So that means we have something called RFP or RFI or RFQ or RFS. Let's understand what RFP means. So the definition goes like this. So request for proposal is a document that an organization floats to announce a project and its requirements and solicits a proposal from qualified vendor and partners. So this statement itself tells key characteristics of RFP. First of all, RFP is nothing but a document. Mostly RFP is written in a Word document or a PDF that will be created from the Word document, because more often than not, RFP would be a lengthy, some 20-25 page document, and even in some cases it can be more also. So the first thing we understand is RFP a document, most probably you will see a Word document. Now this is floated by an organization, wherein they will tell a brief of project and the requirements that they are expecting, and they will solicit proposal from qualified vendors or partners. Now what does this qualified vendors or partner mean? So they don't circulate this RFP to all the vendors or all the partners. They see and they do a basic qualification check, then only they will send this RFP document to their vendors or partners. Okay, that qualification is another separate process that normally happens before RFP is floated, and that process is known as RFI. So that is request for information. So normally, typically what happens, all these big company, they first do a health check of the vendor and understand whether that vendor is capable enough to respond to RFP, do a proper implementation. Then only they will circulate the RFP to them. They don't want to waste time by circulating to someone who is not capable of completing the project exercise. Okay, as for example, let's take a company who is doing a transformation project, and for that, let's say some 40 people team is required. Okay, and let's understand it's a Salesforce project. Okay, now let's for the sake of argument consider a company whose total Salesforce practice strength itself is 50. For someone who doesn't understand practice strength, just understand that the total Salesforce consultant or Salesforce personnel working in that company is, let's say, 50 or 60. Okay, so if I am telling there are 50-60 people, okay, then definitely there will not be 40 people who will be on bench and who will be waiting for this project. Okay, so they will not circulate this RFP to them because obviously they are disqualified. Another criteria for disqualification or qualification would be the technology or similar space where that company has worked. Okay, so let's say they want to do implementation in a niche technology like e-commerce, Salesforce e-commerce, or Salesforce Velocity. Okay. So they will check whether that company has experience in Velocity or e-commerce or not, because e-commerce is totally a different skill set than a Salesforce sales and service cloud. Okay, so they will ask how many projects you have done, how many people are certified in your organization. We will discuss in detail on both RFP and RFI. I will show you the structure of RFP or for that matter RFI. But for now, we need to understand only two things. RFI is a precursor for RFP. RFI is just a qualification process. Normally, they will not waste too much of time in getting the response for RFI. It would be around 1 or 2 weeks process. Then they will release the RFP. Basically, company will release the RFP where they will mention all the requirements and they will seek proposals from all the vendors. Okay. Now, what is RFQ? RFQ is request for quote. Okay. So this used to be a separate document. There are certain companies who will directly ask for quote. They will not ask for a full-blown proposals. They will just tell these are my requirements and tell me based on my requirement how much tell me your quote and how much money you would charge. Okay, and RFS is just a sibling of this RFQ where they will seek solution. So they will tell these are my requirements and tell us your approach and solution how you will achieve that. Okay, this RFQ and RFS is not that common that you will find in the industry. Okay, they are rarely an organization where you would see has floated only RFQ or only RFS. There can be some circumstances, but in 95, more than 95, I would say 99% of the cases, 98% of the cases, barring one or two, okay, there will only be two documents that would be circulated. One is RFI and RFP, and in most cases even the RFI is skipped. Okay, because there will be a partner that is already signed up with them. They will understand their vendor capability well in advance. Okay, so RFP is the key document that everyone should understand. Then if someone understands the RFP, then they will be able to work as a pre-sales consultant without any issue. Okay, now in this session we will focus on RFP and RFI. Basically, one thing I wanted to cover here, this RFP that they float, right? This RFP itself will contain RFQ and RFS. So basically, this RFQ and RFS is not missed out. It is just covered as a part of RFP. RFP, when they are asking for a request for proposal, they will essentially ask for solution approach also. They will ask for pricing or fee or commercials, that is quote also. So everything is covered as a part of RFP. In RFI, there will not be any solution approach or any quote. Okay, and the RFI stage, they will just assess the vendor capability. Okay.